Hey everybody, welcome to another Sandia Mountain Natural History Center quick trip. No, the Sandias have not been hit by a freakishly enormous snowstorm. We are in the heart of the dunes at White Sands National Park now, recently named a national park, upgrade from a monument. And this place is truly spectacular. New Mexico has so many weird, varied and unusual landscapes. We've seen a few on this channel, and this is definitely one of them. We have some of the weirdest lighting today. It's overcast. It was actually snow flurrying earlier. And in this type of light, it's really hard to see what's up and what's down. I've heard that in like snow and whiteout conditions, you can have that. But we're kind of having that here too. It's as I'm walking, it's really hard to tell how deep a dune is, or you can tell how high they are by the relief against the sky, but you can't tell going down sometimes. As you hike across the dunes, you come across a lot of these depressions, and in those depressions seems to be the most plant life, mainly because these fill up with water. And surprisingly enough, the water table is pretty shallow here, so they can actually tap into the water. But that's going to be where the life is. We'll go down, we'll see what we can find. Once you get off of the dunes and into some of these low-lying areas where plants are trying to establish themselves, you can start to find a little bit more life. But it's really amazing that anything survives out here. But I have found a few things. I found these holes here in the sand. I have no idea what they are. Probably some sort of insect or something burrows into the sand, but I don't know. Very faint here in the sand. I have found a few tracks. They have fairly pronounced nails. So I'm thinking something like a fox or something. And it would make sense that they would hunt around this ephedra, because creatures would hide under that ephedra, try and keep shelter. This is salt cedar, a non-native plant to New Mexico that is just bad news. Usually grows near water sources, but what's interesting is the thing that holds these dunes here is the water table. The sand actually stays moist. That's why they haven't just completely blown away. The really interesting thing is what's right under this tree. Let's take a look. There are a whole bunch of bird tracks under this tree. It's probably feeding on the seeds from this salt cedar. You might be wondering how plants can survive out here, how they can grow. Well, there's a few strategies. They could either grow fast and put down quick roots. They can grow tall, so as the dunes advance, they still are above the dunes. Or they can grow kind of deep, thick root balls, which actually hold on to sand and moisture and allow them to grow. So we have a set of lizard tracks here. But what's interesting, follow the lizard tracks back, and they just stop right there. Now, is the lizard burrowed under there? Maybe. That would make a lot of sense. It's kind of a chilly day and he's staying warm. Maybe a bird came down and plucked him off the sand. Who knows? It's kind of a mystery. I'm not going to dig in that hole in case he is in there. I'm just going to leave him be. I know. You were thinking there's hardly anything out there. This video is not going to be complete because he won't be able to find some scat. Oh, ye have little faith, my friends. Here we have found some scat. No idea what that would be. It's got grass in it. Boy, I really don't know. Some sort of either herbivore or omnivore. Just came across a cricket out here. What's cool is you can actually see his tracks here. But this guy definitely has the wrong camouflage. But what's really interesting is there are creatures out here, lizards, some mice, that over generation after generation of creature have actually lightened in color. That helps them obviously stay more camouflaged, unlike this guy, but also keeps them cooler in the hot summer months. Probably the biggest question is, how did all the sand get here? And it's actually kind of a funny story. When back in the day, the government ordered 500 million tons of brown sand and they got white. They didn't know what to do with it, so they just dumped it here. No, I'm kidding. So when the Permian Basin was here, what happened is when the Permian Basin dried up, it left behind a lot of gypsum. And when the surrounding mountains rose up, that gypsum rose up with the mountains. And then after millions of years, all that gypsum has washed down and blown down off the mountains and deposited here at White Sands National Park. And that's really how the sand got here. Not a government blunder. Just found this awesome looking insect. No idea what it is, but it's still pretty cool.